Welcome you all once again to Normal Solutions. We are here once again. I hope we are all doing fine. Now, just as we promised in our earlier on video, we said we'll be starting with CCTV camera installations. And we also promised to give in-depth processes or steps involved in having a proper civilian setup. To start off, one may ask, how did it all started? How did what started? How did CCTV installation started or closed circuit television? We want to discuss some few history of how it began. It started in the year 1940. The first CCTV camera, which was known, was developed by Siemens AG, that is in Germany. The purpose of the camera was to observe a launch of a rocket, that is to say in the Second World War. Who initiated or designed this very one? That's him. We can see over here. It's called Walter Brooms. He designed this breakthrough in the year 1960. So, as we see in the pictorial presentation over there, that was how it looked like. In the year 1949, the US company introduced the first commercial CCTV camera television system by a government contractor who was known to be Vericon. However, the videos were not able to be recorded. As we all know, the main purpose of a civilian's setup is to protect or have a foresight to your properties so that whenever there is a theft, you can come back to play. And this happens only when it is on a recording mode. So in 1949, this very setup or CCTV camera that was done over there then was not able to give recordings. That didn't end there. There came the 1968. So in the 1968, there was another introduction, which is also known as the video cassette recorder. An advanced, they said, CCTV was introduced. That was in New York by Olin. That was the first city in Olin that introduced this. And this was mainly made and installed in most of the streets. That was in 1968. So it was known to be the VCR, the video cassette recorder. So there was an advancement. This was mounted in the city of New York on streets. There is no record. There was no record as to if it was recording or not. But let's say it's a plus. In 1973, the New York introduced the camera to monitor and detect crime. So that was an advancement in 1968 to detect crime. However, the result did not drop as expected. So it went well. It went well. So this time we can say it was able to give recordings because these were monitored on criminal activities or theft. In 1980s, despite the camera having little impact on crime reduction, so it had impact on crime reduction back then, video surveillance began to spread across US. So back then in 1980s, the main purpose of it was to deter criminals. And as we have been made to understand, in 1980s, there was a drastic reduction in crimes or theft in the United States. In the 1980s, specifically 1985, still despite all unsuccessful trials in 1970s, the UK took a leap and installed the first outdoor CCTV in Bournemouth. So this was the first time the United Kingdom also introduced an outdoor surveillance or closed circuit television outdoor. In the 1970s, the Kinley, which is Norfolk, the council set up the first government surveillance system. These proved very, very successful. And in the 1970s, the record that was given to deter crime, in this time, which is in the 1987, there was a clear, drastic improvement, or we can say many stopped criminal activities. In the 1985, we are made to understand that 3,000 CCTV were now used in New York, in private businesses, commercial places, governmental institutions, what have you. So, in the year 1998, we can say that it started to spread. Now, in 2001 to 2013, the British Security Industry Authority, which is known as the BSIA, estimated that British had CCTV camera for every 11 people. That was a dramatic 5.19 million active cameras in the country. In our next channel, or in our next video, we'll be discussing some of the various cameras in a practical way. We'll have them shown. Also, we'll look at some of the materials or things we'll need in setting up a surveillance system. Things like the video balloons we talk about, the hard drives, the how to even terminate the cables and what have you. All of this will be unfold as you still glued to us. As I always say, don't forget to like and subscribe to this very channel. Thank you all.